It just doesn't happen. No, not just Chelsea, it's Man City, Liverpool, Real Madrid. You have to have competition, you have to be able to handle it, and he will.
Well, you can see the figure of Enzo Maresca. He's making his way over here now. Fantastic achievement for him. Congratulations, Enzo. How are you feeling?
Yeah, very happy. Very happy. A little bit frustrated first half because I think we approached the game in the wrong way. Also, I expect a little bit because after 2 days, the happiness was too much after Nottingham because you go all season waiting, and then so we struggled a little bit first half, and then second half we were much better, and we are very happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
You know, you said that like the celebrations was too much. As a manager, what gives you the sense of that? Or was you sitting there thinking they're ready, or there's a little bit inside that you thought, well, maybe we might not start well? Was there a sense, or?
No. The message after Nottingham has been, guys, if we want to be an important team, what we have done is done. Now we need to win the final. It's a final. This was the message, but then it's the happiness, a little bit tidiness. We had 48 hours less than them. They play Friday for nothing. We play Sunday for big target. So I expect a little bit, but then I think second half we were playing much better. We were more. The process was good, but also was to attacking behind. And first half we just tried to play without attacking behind.
I think that the team looks so together now. Two things we noticed. Obviously, you didn't start Reece, but before the game, we was watching him, and he was going up, and he was being a captain. He was talking, and he was leading.
Joe, I promise you, I will start always with Reece. But I'm trying to protect him. He played more games this season than the last 2-3 years. And he's happy. He knows that. But he is top player for us. For us, it's like Cole. The problem is that we need to manage him. And when we change him, he said to me, "Boss, don't worry, we're gonna win the game." Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And also Malo as well. You took him off at half time, and listen, he's a great player, but he wasn't having his best time. But after the game, he was with his team, So that is you've got a great spirit now, right?
Malo, I will tell you, is one of my preferred players. Malo. The problem is that in the first goal we concede. Was from his pass. He missed the pass. So they are young. They are still. They don't understand that if you mistake, doesn't matter. You have to continue. When we lost the ball and we concede, he was out of the game. But he knows, he understands. But for me, Malo is top player. He's good player.
Enzo, how important is this trophy for you personally? Not the club, not the players, for you, because this season you've had some critics, the pressure as well, sometimes from their own fans. So for you, how proud are you to get this one?
I'm very proud. I'm very happy for many reasons. For sure, personally, I feel good, but also because I know that the fans, they deserve that. They are waiting already for 2-3 years for good moments, so they deserve that. The club is invest lots of money in the last 3-4 years, so they are also waiting for results. And also, hopefully this can be a starting point, and from tonight, from this season, building something important.
I know it might be a bit early to ask you, but what would be your ideal season next season?
The target for next season? We're gonna try again.
Let him rest.
What a question.
I thought you was going to ask if he needed another number 9.
If he needed another number 9?
We probably yes. You are too good. You are too old. Anyway, we see now. It's now we enjoy a little bit. 1 week, 10 days, and we start again. But then we see for next season.
Can I just ask you finally about the contribution of your other goal scorers, Cole Palmer, the assists, Jadon Sancho as well? Is Jadon Sancho somebody that you hope can be here next season, that you expect to be here next season?
No, I said yesterday in the press conference, from now on is when we're going to sit with the club and we're going to decide for next year. Jadon, if we finish 4th, it's also because Jadon. If we won tonight, it's also because Jadon. If we finish 4th, it's also because Robert Sanchez. I think it's normal during the season to go a little bit up and down. It's part of the game.
Well, Enzo, enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you.
You've earned them. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done, Enzo.
Enzo Maresca. And I'm sure he will enjoy those celebrations, won't he? Well deserved.
He will.
He's had huge pressure. From the day that he walked in, he'd sat at that desk, open up the book and see the players and the remit, and had the meetings with upstairs. There is huge pressure being in this football club as a player, as a staff. But when you're the manager, you have to oversee it. It comes with a target on your back, and he's had that throughout this season. So, getting that medal around his neck and lifting that trophy, that is huge for him.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's loads more to talk about in the aftermath of this result, and lots more to talk about ahead of next season as well. But
what he done, he took the game, like Mickey said, he took the game by the scruff of the neck. Reece James coming on straight away, they looked more assured, and it was like a momentum was building. Chelsea were getting more and more into the game, more control in the midfield, and they overpowered Betis. You have to credit them for the way they started the game. But listen, the ball's come in, Cole Palmer picks it up here, drives inside, he lends it. Eventually, look, that's a man. He's like playing in the street park, right? There's a lovely run by Jackson as it comes inside, opens up the space, and that is a beautiful ball. And it's a lovely header. Enzo does fantastic from a centre forward's point of view.
Oh, that ball, the ball was unbelievable.
You'd have loved that type of service, wouldn't you?
Like this nice little fine touch, hits his corner into the bottom corner. It was beautiful.
We said it before the game, you want to get your best players on the ball in the most dangerous areas. And then it's down to them, can they pick a pass, can they find that detail, and if they can, who's on the end of it to be clinical enough to put in the back of the net. He made a few good runs in the first half, but just didn't get found, Enzo. And then you can see that's where Reece James comes into it, just hyping the team up. As soon as they scored, Joe, we said they're going to win it now. Yeah. As soon as they scored the equaliser, we said they're going to win.
Should your old pal Adrian have saved it? Am I being harsh? I saw that eye roll.
I feel we could have done slightly better. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really want to say anything, but yes, I feel his reaction. But then again, I'm not a keeper, so I can't really truly say. But maybe it's literally gone just under his hand. Maybe could have parried it a bit better.
Yeah, so that was Chelsea back on level terms at 1-1. Let's see how they took the lead then, because it was Nicholas Jackson back from suspension today, that Premier League suspension, in the team. And again, an assist from Cole Palmer.
He's taken a diabolical liberty here. This is what he's done here. He's stood him up, he's sized him up, he's had a look, he's had another look, and that is a genius at work. And then he's put it into the area. Jackson can't miss. Listen, it's a privilege to watch this kid play football. And I'm not just saying Chelsea fans, I'm saying England fans as well. Look at that. If Lionel Messi performs something like this on a stage like this, the world stops. We've got a player with quality that can do things like that. And there should be teams built around him, Chelsea and England, in my opinion. He's an absolute genius.
He's put it on an absolute plate for him as well. There, he can't miss it, can he? All he's got to do is just guide it towards goal. Yeah. If that comes in for you, you're seeing the headlines before that ball's even got in the net, haven't you?
I mean, 100%. Like one of the things where normally you want to try and head it and stuff like that, but it came so quick. No, he's just literally touched it. Joe's smashed everything upstairs. Threw his drink everywhere. It was. Look at me.
There was tea down the suit. It was
I know.
Is it stained?
Yeah. Well, it's all right. It's decent little number, this.
It just shows what it means, doesn't it? But just touching again on Cole Palmer, because that ability to keep your head, and you said it there, if this was a foreign player, we'd be building him right up, wouldn't we? But the ability to stay calm, buy time, and spot a player making the run is absolutely brilliant. But then for Jackson, again, the manager threw down the gauntlet. You owe your teammates, and he stepped up with that goal.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, like you said, he said that you owe him for what you done against Newcastle. And I said at the beginning of the season, he was scoring so many goals. The injury kind of messed him up, but then he's come back and he stepped up again. Like you said, his stats were 15 goals and 8 assists. Like, it's unbelievable. It's a quality run for someone in the Premier League. And he's come and he's done it in the highest stage in the final. So, I really rate him as a player. I think he's coming into himself, and I think for the next couple of years he's going to be doing well.
And he himself, Nicholas Jackson, is still only 23. He's still relatively young in football terms as well.
He's a baby. He's a pup. Especially centre forwards now. Centre forwards, they're like centre halves. There's a longer maturity time. Because it's a real specific, defined, skill, and they can come a little bit later. So that there can be improvement. He's improving all the time. And what I would say about him, even when he wasn't at his best, Chelsea looked a better side with him in it. Because forget the goals and he missed chances, all forwards miss chances. but he makes things happen out of nothing, and he's developing. And I think he's got a manager that believes in him, which is crucial. So the sky's the limit for him. Forget Drogba, Diego Costa, and players like you. Don't compare him with them. He's got years before you can even look at him and say, is he that? Let the kid breathe, let him develop. You know, and someone coming in pushing him as well. Maybe.
That's what I'm going to say.
On to the trophy there, and he's one of the players in the side. Well, I think probably the only player who was back there from that time that they won the Champions League, who's won it all in Europe. 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Leagues, 2 Conference League now, 2 UEFA Cup Winners' Cups, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 6 Premier Leagues, 8 FA Cups, and 5 Carabao Cups. Wow. The only club to win all of the UEFA trophies. I think they're 9th European trophy.
That's unbelievable. They should have won the Inner City Fairs Cup back in like the 50s, and they would have really completed everything.
It's pretty impressive.
They even have a defunct tournament. The Cup Winners' Cup doesn't exist anymore. That kind of became the Europa League along with the UEFA Cup.
We spoke about Enzo Maresca and the plan, I suppose, for him, the project, given that he's now been there a season for Chelsea. How do you think, or how close do you think he feels, Charlie, to the finished product for his side? Do you think he's just kind of getting there, or he feels like this is the finished article?
No, I think they're a ways off from where they want to be. We're talking top of the Premier League. We're talking Champions League winners. They have a ways to go. We've seen towards the end of the season, they've had some big wins. I mean, the win at Nottingham Forest, that was the game to go to the be in the Champions League.
Yeah, the pressure was on, wasn't it? Yeah.
And they came through. But if we were watching Chelsea, and Nigel will be the first one to say, it hasn't been pretty. You haven't watched this Chelsea side and say, man, they're really playing a beautiful style. You're seeing a lot of progress from what we saw from Mauricio Pochettino at the end of the previous season. You haven't been impressed, but ultimately they've got the job done. He's figured out, his core players in this team and his system.
He sorted out the mess that he walked into at the beginning of the season. It was a disaster. All of us were asking, what are they going to do with so many players on the squad? Who is he going to choose to be in his first choice 11? It was almost like a summer camp. With all of these guys, you saw the pictures in the gym and all that stuff. He managed to get the house in order. And he achieved what was expected of him, to get into the Champions League and win this tournament, which he was the heavy favorite in.
I agree with Charlie. I feel they're a way to go, because for Chelsea, they want to be competing for a Premier League title. They still, for me, don't have the squad that's capable enough. And when you look at the start of this season, let's not forget, Chalobah was a player that was kind of exiled at Chelsea, was alone at Crystal Palace. Yeah. And he's come back now and he's forced himself to say, I'm one of your best centre-backs, and also got rewarded with an England call-up. So there's still a lot to do. I still feel they need to strengthen. We talked about positioning, centre-back, goalkeeper, and a striker. But will they go for experienced players? It doesn't seem like that's the blueprint that Chelsea want to use. They want to go down this youth road and buy young players. And if you're talking about Chelsea competing for Premier League titles, you're going to be competing against the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Manchester City, who are in a rebuild. And look at what Liverpool being linked with now already after winning the Premier League. Look at the quality of players they're getting in to kick on again next year. So I still feel Chelsea a few ways away. And they've got teams like Villa and Newcastle who are pushing them as well.
You look at Chelsea and you say they're not a ravenous team yet. Like when Liverpool plays, they could go toe-to-toe with PSG. Liverpool could have beat them easily if it's luck of the draw and a penalty kick shootout. We could perhaps be talking about Liverpool in the Champions League final today, right? I don't know if Chelsea's at that level, the players that they have with the way that they play football. There's a lot of potential there. This is certainly a strong step in the right direction. Chelsea were kind of drifting off and you didn't know what was going on. Enzo Maresca, you got to give him credit. Remember when we were joking around, or not really joking around, asking at the beginning of January, I pushed you and I asked, would you rather finish top 4 or win Conference League? And you go, if he doesn't win Conference League, he needs to get sacked. Well, he won Conference League.
And he got Champions League.
And he got Champions League. So you got to give Maresca credit.
Yeah, and I think if you'd offered him that at the start of the season, he would have taken it.
Well, that's the competition you're in. You can't win Europa League. You can't win Champions League. You can't win Conference League. So I will say, of the positives in this season, you can take a lot from doing whatever necessary to win, to grind it out, and then let the beautiful football come after. But you got to be able to play different styles, different situations. I think there's a lot of positives in not having the prettiest season this year, but they've still won a trophy and they've still qualified for Champions League.
One of the big building blocks for the future, I'm sure, for Enzo Maresca is Cole Palmer in that midfield. Nigel, you talked about him pre-game, and this match really was what we've seen from him this season. The first half was that period in the middle of the season where he just kind of did nothing, and the second half was when he was at his best.
Yeah, it was. He came alive. Even in the first half, it wasn't going well for Chelsea, but I did see him trying to influence the game. He was dropping in pockets. But this is him in the second half, and we showed a clip very similar to this when he played that first time ball around the corner to Nicholas Jackson. You see Nicholas Jackson make the run, but he doesn't get the ball initially. And look at him again, cuts out that favourite left look, heads up, sees the runner Enzo Fernandez, and puts it on an absolute plate. Easy dinner for Fernandez there, very simple header. Yes, you could question the goalkeeper, but it's the vision of Cole Palmer. This here for me, again, we talk about being high up the pitch, affecting the game. This is poor by Real Betis. You do not leave him one-on-one with a player that you know is inadequate when it comes to athleticism. And this is just too simple, too easy, schoolboy defending. You let him turn out, goal side, fantastic cross, Nicholas Jackson chests it in. But this is where you get the best of Cole Palmer. Higher up the pitch, influencing the game, and what Chelsea did better in the second half was how they pressed with so much more intensity, winning the ball high up the pitch. You get him in isolation in one-on-one situations. He's just showed you what he's capable of.
There were moments after Chelsea made the Champions League when they qualified, when they beat Forest, that he was a little bit subdued in his celebrations. And I take Cole Palmer as a kind of like a no-nonsense guy. Like, all right, we haven't achieved what we should achieve.
He wants to win.
He wants to win at the highest level.
Okay, but look at that's exactly it. Look at the environment he came from.
City, you're playing against guys who have won Champions League, won Premier League season after season. What is the Conference League to Cole Palmer
exactly.
if you have that ambition and you want to hold this team to that standard?
He's a product of his environment.
It's one of those things where you're saying, all right, it's good. We did what we're supposed to do, but guys, let's not settle for this. And you want that from a young player.
Right,
We talked about the summer as well for Chelsea, the project and who they're going to bring in. Do you get more out of Cole Palmer if you sign a slightly better striker than someone like Jackson?
Absolutely. Imagine Cole Palmer with striking a partner.
Gyökeres, those kind of players.
Forget about it. That's taking this squad to the next level. Yes, Nico Jackson, from the beginning, we saw certain glimpses of quality, but ultimately, is he a guy that's going to win you games when push comes to shove at the highest level? I'm not sure.
No.
But when you bring in a Gyökeres, well, that's also, we still have to kind of see that at a top 5 level, right? But from what I see from Gyökeres, I'm convinced that he is that type of guy. But Osimhen, for sure.
Osimhen would be the perfect fit at Chelsea. But with Chelsea's blueprint and what they want to do and go young, I just don't see it happening. If it happens, unbelievable. But when you talk about
how old is Osimhen?
The character and how it would be, I think that he'll be the perfect fit.
I'm a new hands off.
I just think he would. And he made it obvious that he was a bit of a Chelsea fan when we interviewed him early on last year or this year when we spoke to Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, it was before he went to Galatasaray, actually.
Before he went, made it quite clear that he was a bit of a Chelsea fan. I think he'll be the perfect fit. The character, the personality, and he'll embed what it means to play for Chelsea. And Cole Palmer, for me, reminds me of like a Kevin De Bruyne in the sense of just the final attacking third. Not the box-to-box midfield element where you can play in that 8 role, but more so just the attacking element of it with the quality of that final pass, that bromance that you have, like how Kevin De Bruyne had it with Haaland. I think Cole Palmer can develop that with a real top-quality striker.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way they go in the transfer window over the summer. They'll be fighting with Arsenal to sign a striker as well. Plenty more. Can't expect him to say where he's going, but what do you think the future holds for Anthony? Is he going to try and stay at Betis?
I have no idea, but it looks like clearly he doesn't want to go back to Manchester United.
Yeah.
I think it's a hidden secret. He keeps on talking about being happy. Everyone knows he's happy there, so obviously he does not want to go back to Old Trafford. That's down to him and his agent. You know, we've seen him outside of Manchester United and what he's doing now, and clearly he looks a lot more happy human being and happy about life and family and playing his football.
I think he genuinely doesn't know where he's going to go.
He genuinely doesn't know.
Because he wasn't going to come out, Adam, and say, this is where I want to be, and that's it. Because he's a smart guy. You also want to play Champions League. You want to play at the highest level. This was an audition for other clubs in Europe, if not Manchester United, to say, hey, you either want me back and I'm going to play my style or no.
And I have quality still. I'm not the player from United. I'm the player from Betis.
And I don't think he wants to go back to United and play. It's almost like it's a painful reminder of where you were in the low point. So you want to continue to go out, but it's an important year. You got called back up to the national team with Ancelotti. the message for all the Brazilian players is to play, and not only play but play well.
Let's not
so
forget.
you need to find a good spot, and if you're Anthony, you're saying La Liga is a great place for me, and hopefully one of the clubs who finished in the top 5, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid. Those are places that you're hoping.
No, he can't play at Athletic Club.
Let's just say this. It doesn't matter what conversation you have. Leading up now for any of these players, it's World Cup year. It's leading to a World Cup year. And Charlie's right, you have to be playing. But one thing I get from that interview, definitely does not want to go back to Manchester United.
We mentioned before the game about the view of Pellegrini in South America and obviously the success he's had as a manager in Europe for Chile. How is Anthony and his success this season been viewed back home in Brazil?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are happy for Anthony. It's the bounce back that I think even we who poked fun at his situation at United, because there were moments that were comical, we saw this flourishing of a player, and you can only applaud that. And I think in Brazil, all of this quality that you're seeing in Anthony, everyone kind of knew that it was there because we saw it at Ajax, and then something happened at Manchester United. It wasn't there. But when a Brazilian, I feel like culturally, when a Brazilian is happy, when he has freedom of expression, he plays football well. And it came down to sometimes a lot has to do with your personal life. He wasn't a happy guy in Manchester. And I was listening.
Happy when you're not playing.
But not only that, and then your family is suffering, right?
Well,
you wake up, it's grey, there's no pool.
Yeah,
I was listening to Spanish radio, and they said, well, yeah, he's happier in Spain. Well, of course he's happier in Spain. He lives in Sevilla. It's sunny all the time. You can walk out in a T-shirt. My kids can get in the pool.
You can't do that in Manchester in December, I'll tell you that for free.
Unless you have an indoor pool.
Okay, time for a short break.
Casi a producto nuevo por semana, producto bonito que, por supuesto, pues siempre invitamos a la gente a que consuma. Si queréis encontrarlo en kingsleague.pro, pues ahí tenéis las nuevas chaquetas training y también esas camisetas especiales con detalles dorados que llevan todos los equipos.
Oye, ustedes tendrán más memoria que yo, pero ¿cuánto quedaron la última vez que se enfrentaron ellos?
3-4 ganó 1K.
3-4.
En el histórico de estos dos equipos, el que gane desempata, porque han ganado 2. El X-Boyer Team ha ganado 2. 1.
Becker se lleva el rebote. Becker para marcar. Becker. El rechazo de Arnaldo. ¡Gol!
¡Vamos! ¡Vamos!
¡Gol!
¡Vamos, Pablo! ¡Qué suerte!
Mascarra en el Cooper Arena. ¡Gol de Pablo Becker!
No será capaz, ¿no? ¡No será capaz! ¡Qué cabrón! ¡Qué cabrón! Si sacan más de 3, se quedan sin trabajo. Mira, muy bien. ¿Cómo valoran el trabajo? Bien.
Ahí está ese ataque por parte del X-Boyer Team. El toque dentro de Becker. Puede marcar Carbó. ¡Gol! ¡Vamos! ¡Gol! Pablo Becker. Becker que quiere poner el centro por delante. Finalmente lo pone por detrás del defensor. Carbó la pista. Carbó.
¡No jodas!
¡Por algo es el Corona de Oro! China la juega atrás, no se decidió a tirar. Granero busca su perfil, Granero.
Golazo.
¡Gol! De 1K. Marca Granero. Y sí, otra vez lo ha vuelto a hacer. Buller, mira. No,
gol doble. Gol doble, claro, porque tiene sanción. Ah, claro, vale.
Sanción, efectivamente. Grande. Claro que sí. Bueno, sinceridad ante todo. Ahí está. Juanma el toque. ¡Gol!
Vale.
¡Velilla! ¡Gol! Balón que lleva ahí Pluvins el disparo. ¡Gol!
Vale.
¡Gol!
Me gusta.
Está haciendo un buen trabajo defensivo, ojo.
¡Granero!
¡Qué golazo!
¡Chicharro de Mar Granero! ¡Qué barbaridad! El recorte de zurda y el disparo con la derecha. Que la metió en la escuadra. Ojo ahora que ataca el X-Boyer Team. ¡Gol! Va a pegar Fuad en la falta.
Santa madre de Dios. Sí.
Vamos a ver ahí esa pelota dentro del área para Juanma, que lo puede matar. ¡Gol!
2 de Juanma.
Sí, no podía ser otro que Roger Carbón. No sé si te imaginabas que tu vuelta iba a ser de esta manera.
Pues la verdad que no, o sea, ha sido la vuelta ideal. Hat-trick, partido de octavos y mañana jugamos cuartos, o sea, ha sido ideal. Aunque el trabajo no, o sea, me lo llevo yo, pero el trabajo es de todos. Hemos trabajado mucho y al final los resultados se han visto reflejados en el campo, así que muy contento.
Parecía o puede parecer que sois el rival más débil por todas las bajas, pero en los pasillos se comenta que nadie quiere enfrentarse a vosotros.
Bueno, a ver, yo escuché una persona que dijo de Gigantes que quería enfrentarse a nosotros, así que mañana a las 9 no te preocupes que estaremos aquí con muchas ganas, y más después de esas declaraciones. ¿Sabes por quién voy?
Yo no lo sé quién es.
No lo voy a decir, esta persona lo sabe.
Bueno, pues enhorabuena.
Muchas gracias.